Imagine an engineer who works for you all day and all night, and a private assistant that answers only to you, both living on a single laptop at home and both reachable from the phone in your pocket. No cloud bill, no meter, no one looking over your shoulder. Let me show you exactly how that is built. Let me start with the problem, because it is a very ordinary one. Two things keep pulling me back to my desk. First, the work is slow. Rendering a video, training a small model, running a long build, these things take hours. And while they run, I feel chained to the chair, because the moment I walk away, I lose the thread. Second, the tools I would reach for in the cloud come with strings attached. They are metered, so every question costs a little. They are filtered, so sometimes they simply refuse. And they are not private, because whatever I type travels off to someone else's computer. So here is the wish. What if the slow work could keep running at home without me sitting over it? And what if my own AI, private and unlimited, lived on my own machine, and I could reach all of it from the small glowing rectangle already in my pocket? That is exactly what we are going to build. And the surprising part is how few pieces it takes. Before anything can reach your laptop from the outside, you need a safe road into it. That road is the first and most important piece. The road is a tool called Tailscale, and the idea behind it is beautiful. Look at the left side of this picture, the old way. To reach your home computer from outside, you would have to open a door in your home router and expose it to the whole internet. That is slow to set up, it breaks the moment your address changes, and worst of all, that open port is a door onto the whole internet, quietly scanned by bots around the clock, where one wrong setting leaves you exposed to strangers. Now look at the right. Tailscale throws that whole approach away. Instead of opening any doors, it stitches only your own devices together into a private, encrypted mesh, a little web that only your machines belong to, with no open ports at all. So in practice, you install it and run a single command, Tailscale up, on each of your machines. From then on, your phone talks straight to your laptop over an encrypted line, as if they were sitting side by side, even when one is at home and the other is on a train across the country. Nothing is exposed to the public internet. There are no ports to forward, no router settings to fight with. And each of your machines gets one permanent private address that never changes, so your laptop is always at the same spot on your own map. Set this up once, and every other piece we add just travels quietly over this same private mesh. So let us picture the whole shape of it. Here is the whole layout on one board. On the left are the devices you carry, your phone, a tablet, a laptop at a cafe. In the middle is the Tailscale mesh, that private encrypted web that only your own machines can join. And on the right is the one machine that does all the real work, your home laptop. Look at what is running on it. There is a persistent session holding a coding agent. There is a local model server with a chat interface in front of it. There is a tiny web server that hands out finished videos. And underneath them all sits the graphics card, the engine that makes the heavy work possible. Every arrow you see crossing from your pocket to that laptop rides the same private mesh. Nothing touches the open internet. Keep this picture in mind, because now we are going to bring each box on the right to life, one at a time. A road into the machine is not enough. The work you start must survive the moment you disconnect. That is the job of the second piece. Here is a trap that catches everyone at first. You connect to your laptop from your phone, you start a long job, and then you close your phone, and the job dies with your connection. That is because, by default, whatever you start is tied to your session, and when the session ends, the work ends. The fix is a tool called tmux. Think of it as a workbench that lives inside the laptop itself, not inside your connection. You start a named session, you set your work running inside it, and then you simply walk away. Your connection drops, your phone locks, you get off the train, and none of it matters, because the work was never attached to you. It was attached to the bench. When you connect again, from any device, you reach back into that same named session and find everything exactly where you left it, still running. There is one more small but crucial trick. Normally, when you fully log out, the system tidies up and shuts your background things down. So you turn on a setting called linger, which tells the machine, keep this person's work running even after they have logged out completely. With tmux holding the bench and linger keeping it alive, your sessions simply never sleep. Now we put a worker on that persistent bench. Not a program you babysit, but an agent that actually does the work while you are away. The worker is a coding agent, Claude Code, and normally it is polite to a fault. Every time it wants to change a file or run a command, it stops and asks you, "May I?" That is perfect when you are sitting right there watching. But it is useless when the whole point is to walk away, because the agent freezes on the very first question and waits for a yes that never comes. So you give it permission to run without pausing to ask. In the tool, this is a switch whose name is, quite honestly, dangerously skip permissions. Let me be straight with you about what that means. It is what people call YOLO mode. The agent will plan, edit files, and run commands entirely on its own, with no safety prompt. That is genuinely risky on a shared machine or anything holding real users' data. But on your own personal laptop, your own trusted box, where the worst case is your own project, it is exactly the unlock you want, because now the agent works truly unattended. Then you wrap it in two more pieces. The first detaches the agent from your login, so it belongs to the system, not to your session, and it survives every disconnect. The second holds the laptop awake, because a laptop left alone loves to fall asleep and freeze everything mid-task. This one command tells it, do not doze off while this is running. Put those together, a persistent session, an agent that never stops to ask, detached from your login, on a machine that refuses to sleep, and you have an engineer that keeps building for hours while you are out living your day. Here is the whole thing, 5 commands on one card. Step 1 joins this laptop to your private mesh. Step 2 opens a named session, the bench that outlives your connection. Step 3 starts the agent in the mode that lets it work without asking. Step 4 is the pair that keeps it alive. One part detaches the work from your login so it survives log out. The other blocks the laptop from falling asleep. And Step 5 starts the little server that will stream your finished work to your phone, which is exactly where we are heading next. 5 short lines. That is the entire backbone. The agent handles the heavy building. But you also want a thinking partner, a chat assistant, and you want that one to be entirely yours. Alongside the agent, I run my own chat assistant, and this is where the private part gets really satisfying. On the laptop, there is a small program whose only job is to load a language model and answer questions, running right on the graphics card. By itself, it is a bit bare, just an engine. So in front of it, I put a friendly web interface, an open one called Open Web UI, which looks and feels just like the chat apps you already know, a clean box where you type and it answers. But here is the difference that matters. This assistant is entirely mine. Nothing I ask ever leaves the house. There is no meter counting my questions, so I can ask 10,000 of them, and the cost is the same, 0. And because the model runs on my hardware, I am the one who decides how it behaves. I can run what is called an uncensored model, one without the extra layer of refusals that the cloud services wrap around theirs. Now let me be clear about what that is really for. It is not about doing anything harmful. It is the plain freedom of owning the machine your software runs on, the same way you own the notebook you write in. Private, unlimited, and answering only to you. That is your own ChatGPT, sitting quietly on your own desk. Everything so far runs at home. The magic is watching it all appear, live, on the small screen in your hand. Now let us pull the threads together and actually see it on the phone. For the finished work, there is a tiny web server, just a few lines of code, that reaches into the folder of rendered videos and offers them up over the private mesh. It is built carefully enough that video plays smoothly even in a phone browser, so you open the address, and there is your latest render, playing inline, wherever you are. No downloading, no fiddling, just tap and watch. And right beside it, at another address on that same mesh, is the chat interface sitting in front of your local model. So picture the whole scene. You are on a train. Your laptop is at home, lid closed, the agent building away inside its session, the graphics card warm. You pull out your phone. You open one page and you watch the video your machine finished an hour ago. You open another and you ask your own private assistant a question, and it answers, from your own hardware, over your own encrypted line. Your desk, essentially, is now wherever you happen to be sitting. Put all of it in motion and a rhythm appears, a loop that keeps turning whether you are at the desk or on the far side of the city. This is the rhythm the whole setup unlocks. You assign a task, from anywhere, in a sentence or two. The agent goes to work on its own for as long as it takes. When it has something, you preview it on your phone, the video, the output, the result. If it is not right, you send a quick redirect, a nudge, a correction, again from your phone. And then the loop simply turns again. Assign work, preview, redirect, repeat. Notice what has changed. You are no longer the worker. You are the director. The slow, hour-long work happens without you in the room, and your job shrinks to the two things only a human can do, deciding what to build, and judging whether it came out right. Everything in between runs on its own. So step back and look at what this really is. With a handful of free tools and one laptop you already own, you have built two remarkable things. The first is an autonomous engineer that keeps working through the night, while you sleep, while you travel, while you live the rest of your life, and you check on it with a glance at your phone. The second is a private assistant, an uncensored model on your own graphics card that answers only to you, costs nothing per question, and never sends a word of what you say anywhere. Both of them ride the same quiet private mesh, so both of them are with you wherever you go, on a train, on a couch, on the far side of the world. No cloud bill, no meter, no one watching. Just one laptop at home, and the whole thing in your pocket, doing the quiet work of a team. That is your own private AI. And now you know exactly how it is built. The full setup guide, every command and every service, lives in a free write-up on GitHub at github.com/behanmerali. If this gave you ideas for your own machine, subscribe and join us for the next one. This has been Code Zen.